What is going on, people? We got a couple of videos here sent in by Christine, and they got a target from Dow BX 2020. Now, anything with 2020 nowadays probably means that it's a bad thing, because this year has absolutely stank. But anywho, looks like 3RR and Greed's gonna be going for them, and they're gonna be sending at first leaderless rallies. Now, there are some people that don't really understand why people do leaderless rallies, etc. And some literally just think that leaderless rallies are only to see if they're online, but that's not the case at all. Now, it says here that they only have executed 23 prisoners, and they only have about 23 million kills. So basically what that means is that this person is either not very active or just doesn't really play the warring side of the game at all. So that's usually a very good thing. Now, here's the first rally from 3RR. Only drops in about 6 million, but here is where it's actually really interesting. It does almost 3.3 million killed and injured troops, and that was a leaderless rally. Now, the reason that's important is because even though it was leaderless, it probably killed about 1 million of his troops. And why is that important? Well, if somebody is online and they see your marching, well, they can easily switch phalanx, etc. to try to counter you. And usually those are the ones that will say, you know, you killed and injured troops is like 2.4 million, 2.3, something along those lines. And most of those are just going to be your troops, because remember, you're sending almost 2.4 million. So if you get something like that, it either means that they're online switching phalanx, or that they have a bunch of troops, and you should probably think twice before sending your leader. But since that one did so much damage, almost 1 million dead, that could mean a couple of things. Either A, they're online but they definitely can't take rallies very well, or B, they're offline and it's time to start doing some damage. So here you go. Greece gonna go ahead and start their first march. Deathstroke. That actually brings me back to the Batman days, but that's beside the point. Let's see, and it hits right there. We see smoke, so no fire just yet. That one didn't do nearly as much damage, and yeah, they don't have a prisoner just yet, so that means that that was another leaderless rallies. Now, it definitely seems like they sent something else, because when you check the report here, they only did 2.3 compared to the last one that did almost 3.2. So that means he's either online and switching phalanx finally, or whatever they sent was completely different, and maybe they got countered themselves. So, but there we go, we got the first fire. They decided to send leaders, and yeah, that's what happens usually when you sit in monster gear or familiar gear. I don't recommend it. Look at that, 8 million casualties from 3RR's Darth Vape. That's a hell of a good hit. Makes me think that maybe they were sitting in a cavalry phalanx. That's a really, really solid hit and a lot of dead, considering that it's only one of their first attacks. So yeah, the reason I say don't go in cavalry, phalanx, or wedge, etc., especially if you're offline, is because range into cavalry is the worst of all the counters. And if you get caught with cavalry out up front, you are literally going to get dropped super quickly. A lot of times it doesn't even matter the amount of troops you have, because that is the counter that you want to avoid the most. Okay, so looks like they got even more fire, and they only got the last little bit of a hit in. But, you know, sometimes just taking the leader is good enough. So yeah, this guy kind of dropped a little fast, because when you sit in that crappy gear, you're gonna get zeroed. Also, it didn't really seem like they were getting a lot of reinforcements anyway, so don't really know what happened there. But here's the good news. Here's the good news. The kills did go up by a very significant amount. I mean, you got like about 12 million kills, you know, so, you know, it's like a win-win. And you know what else is really nice after you zero somebody? If they have a bunch of freaking resources. This guy was pretty much a bank. Okay, so this is like zeroing a bank and then getting the loot and the reward after. As if the kills were not enough. Look at all that. Oh my goodness. That is heaven. There goes the last one, about 5.4 million casualties. And the rally that took the leader didn't even come up in the Gazette because it only killed 400k. So the game was like, well, yeah, that's not really a big hit, so don't worry about it. But yeah. Oh, one tip that I will tell you, once you're raiding a bank, it's always good to try to focus on only one side, so meaning port on only one side of the bank, because if you surround the bank and everybody is sending marches from everywhere around them, it's going to be much harder to actually click on the castle and keep gathering resources. So just as an FYI, a lot of times I've seen it like that where guilds will surround the bank and start hitting just because you want to be the closest. But that's actually a disservice because it's going to be so much harder to click when there are troops coming from every single direction. So pick a side, the right side, the bottom, the top, the left, whatever, and make sure that everyone ports to that side because it's going to make everyone's life easier as far as clicking the castle, sending marches over and over, not clicking the wrong castle, because there's so many people that have literally been raiding a bank and then they send a full 250k T4 march into the wrong castle, and well, there that went. Now this next one is them rallying a 1.3 billion miter. Yeah, Mr. Chapow. Awesome looking gear. I don't really like the drum, but that's another story. Yeah, 1.3 billion mite with a drum on, and it's a single rally. So yeah, it's not like this is a rally party or anything like that. They're going after a 1.3 billion miter with a single rally. Now, I have said this before, but nowadays, being a billion mite doesn't really mean too much, or zeroing a billion mite doesn't really mean as much as it used to, just because research, especially some of the latest trees, make your mite go up so much. I believe the last 2 trees that have been released for research would have upped your mite almost, or actually more than 300 million just by those 2 trees alone. Over 300 million mite just off of those 2. That's an insane amount. And a lot of people are sitting at almost 1.1, 1.2 billion mite and have barely any troops. So yeah, it's a new day in Lords Mobile. I remember I was actually catching some of the older videos, like videos from 3 years ago, where zeroing a 400 million mite was like amazing. Now you can probably solo somebody that's 400 million mite. So times are changing, but you gotta adjust. The game now is probably much easier to gain mite than it was before, so there's also that. And this guy, well, he's clearly online because I was just talking about his gear and how he has a drum, and now he had speed gear on, so he's clearly online, clearly knows that he's being rallied. So they're not stopping. They're gonna start spamming. They don't care that he's online. So here we go. They got 5 seconds on the hit, and let's see what happens. 1.3 billion mite. Rally fails, but did he cap? And he did not. Look at all those people that are walking back. That is actually not good. 3.6 killed and injured troops, so they probably got him for about 1 million plus troops there. Off of a single rally? That's pretty insane. That's actually pretty insane. So yeah, you might as well just keep rallying because he's already proven that he can't take a rally. He definitely is not capping you. And now, not only that, you have his report. So there's no reason to not rally it again. But here's the kicker though. Once you rally him, at this point, he already knows that he can't take a rally. So you have 2 options. Either he sits there and takes them, or he ports out and just shield because he knows that he can't take any more. So I don't know. What is he going to do? If you're 1.3 billion mite, I feel like you really shouldn't be running away from a single rally. Now I get it. If you're 1.3 billion mite and you have multiple rallies on you, you know, 5, 6, 9, 10, you know, something like that, and you don't have many troops, then, you know, hey, shield, fight another day. But the reason why he can't really take these rallies because of that damn drum that he has in there. Okay, that's actually not true. But I just don't know why he would have a damn drum in his mix set. Anyway, he ports away. And for some reason, the game doesn't even recognize that he ported away. I've actually run into that myself. And you're just like, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, look at this. The game is sometimes breaks, but you know, it is what it is. They had to post it in the chat for her to actually find where he was at. And yeah, they're gonna launch this regardless. So it doesn't matter. They have carpets. Remember that the last bargain store had a bunch of carpets, so nobody should have an issue with carpets right now, unless you just blew them all in KVK. But yeah, I don't see somebody really being out of carpets at the moment. And it looks like he's about to get some reinforcements. So maybe... Oh, no. It's just resources. It's just resources. So if he's getting resources, is he going to heal? Is he going to take them? That is the question. 1.3 billion might against a single rally. Will he take them? If I'm the rally leader, I'm sending this regardless. Because I already walked back. I got the report. I already know what he's packing. It's his time to make a decision. And, well, see... What ended up happening is that this 1.3 billion might, Mr. Chappelle, is he gonna man up against this single rally? The spam has started. That's gonna make it much more difficult for him to see what's coming, and he decides to shield. So yeah, like I said, 1.3 billion might, 2 billion might, 3 billion might. Nowadays, nobody's really safe. But yeah, appreciate you guys for watching, and Christine for sending the videos. And until later.